And for more on that, we're now joined by Tal Elovits. He's a public policy consultant. Thanks very much for joining us, Tal. First and foremost, I want to ask you if Israel is going to elections.
Probably, yeah. Right now we see basically a deadlock between the Likud and the Blue and White in the negotiation about postponing the budget. And we do know that on Sunday at 10:30 they will have another finance committee meeting about the budget. But right now it doesn't seem that they have any agreements about postponing the budget. Monday at midnight the Knesset will dissolve and we will have new elections.
So Miki Zoyer, chairman of the coalition, said yesterday, after he said we want to postpone the decision about the budget not by 100 days but by 150 days, coming up to the words of Blue and White, yet with another excuse. He says we'll bring that to voting on Monday, but until the last moment we're trying to find a compromise. What sort of compromise could that be?
So I think that what we're seeing is that the Likud trying to find a compromise that fits the Likud itself. While we had a coalition agreement where they agreed about 2-year budget, which is basically a year and a half, coming to this Monday, we were supposed to be on the final reading in the parliament of the budget. Now, this is not the situation right now, and I don't understand which kind of compromise the Likud wants, besides postponing the dates that can dissolve the Knesset. Postponing by 150 days, it makes that year of 2020, the financial year, basically gone. So I can't see any logic idea behind it, besides staying at office.
Now, Tal, you have worked at the Finance Committee of the Parliament. Netanyahu recently said that he doesn't need 24 hours to pass a budget, citing an ultimatum that was put by Benny Gantz. He said, I need 24 minutes or something of that sort. How long does it usually take, and would it make sense to, in your opinion, vote on a budget for the coming 3-4 months, considering the fact that we're in a coronavirus crisis mode?
So first of all, it's not a matter of opinion. Let's look on the facts. And we had, in Netanyahu years since 2009, we had 6 budgets that have passed in the Knesset. The shortest time from the first reading to the final reading was 42 days. The longest time was 77 days. It was in 2015. So not 24 days, not 24 hours, not 24 minutes, 42 days. It was the shortest time to pass the budget. Now, one should remind that the budget process has not started yet. It starts in the government and then it arrives to the parliament. Now, the government side hasn't started yet. And we don't know yet the budget framework, how much money Israel will have to plan its own needs. And right now, all of coronavirus expense are going out from what we call budget box, which is outside of the budget of the country. And the budget that we need to approve is the budget for the full year, 2020, which we know we have a lot of progress depending on this budget to get approved.
Okay, so basically saying technically, even if they were to advance a budget for only 2020, it would take somewhere between 42 and 70 days or something, which would bring us very close to the end of the year. I want to ask you, Tal, you wrote an interesting op-ed last week in one of the Israeli news sites saying the government is warning us from both sides against elections that would cost between 2.5 billion shekels and 4 billion shekels, but you're saying that's maybe not too bad.
Well, first of all, I'm saying that we don't know the actual cost, and everything is estimation. So the actual or direct cost is about 500 million shekel. All other expenses or all other calculations are estimation about how much does it cost the day off for the market. And we know right now we have 500,000 people unemployed or in unpaid leave. So we don't know the actual numbers. That's one thing. But my article argue that we don't need to look about elections in money point of view. This is democracy. It will cost as much as it will have to cost in order for us, the citizens, to have the ability to vote and for them to be accountable for their actions. And we know that a lot of red lines have been crossed in order to form this sort of coalition, unity government. It's something that we can't evaluate in money.
And you're comparing it also to other democracies. You're saying a fourth round is something that we see worldwide.
I'm saying that in democracy, it's okay to see a deadlock and an ability to maybe balance the powers between other parties. Now, we have seen a change between April 19 to March 2020. We've seen, for example, Bennett and Shaked in the first elections out of the parliament, and right now Bennett is being polling very high. So we know that there are changes. Let us get the ability back to vote. Don't afraid us with numbers.
Okay, Tal Elovits, public policy consultant. Pleasure speaking to you. Thanks so much for joining us today.